Hello and welcome to season 8 of the Liz Career Coaching Podcast. I'm Liz Herrera and I am your host. It's good to be back, and I'm looking forward to having you join me on my podcast as we continue our journey of self discovery, purpose, inspiration, and growth. I actually have some fun news that I would like to share with you. Uh, FeedSpot blog added the Liz Career Coaching Podcast as one of the 40 best career coaching podcasts you must follow in 2024, as well as one of the top 100 coaching podcast lists. How cool is that? I'm grateful for being included on these lists, but most importantly, I'm grateful that you are tuning in to join me on this journey. And we have to celebrate the small wins. Today, I want to start with something very close to my heart. This episode is actually a reflection on life's brevity, the importance of living our purpose, and the legacy that we leave behind. I'd like to think of life and every day as a gift. Sometimes I feel like life is too short and I don't want to waste another minute on the things that are not important. We all have dreams, goals, and aspirations, but how many of us are truly living them out? How many of us are making the most of the time that we have? I want to share a story with you that has profoundly shaped my life and how and why I view the world the way that I do. When I was just 5 years old, my mother passed away. She was 22 years old. She left behind three young girls. So, myself, I was five, my sister was three, and my baby sister was only 11 months old. Though she only lived a short life, the impact that she had on me has lasted a lifetime. I oftentimes hear stories about how my mother wanted to be a nurse. From what I could remember, she was nurturing, she was kind, and I believe that she would have made an incredible nurse and caring for those in need. Unfortunately, her life was cut too short before she could fulfill that dream. One of the clearest memories that I have of my mother, I was probably 3 to 4 years old, and we were actually coming home from the laundromat. And she noticed this elderly Mexican senora, old lady, and she was struggling to walk. But without hesitation, my mother told me that we were going to help. So she approached this lady and gently took her by her arm, and she helped her cross the street. And even though I was a young child, I still remember feeling that my mother had done something kind, that she had done something good. And that moment has stayed with me all these years. And that continues to guide the way that I see the world and interact with others. This experience, along with her early passing, has taught me that life is too short and it's so important to live with purpose. We don't know how much time we have, but we know that every moment is an opportunity to live our dreams and make a difference. And again, this is a moment of reflection for me. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately because even though I lost my mother at a very young age, recently I experienced another significant loss. Well, me and my family. So my grandmother, Mama Cruz, she recently passed away and she was 99 years old. So just thinking, my mother was 22 and here's my grandmother who took us in as young girls after my mom passed. And she lived to be 99. And so she lived a long, full life. And, we had to say goodbye to her this summer. But during her mass, my uncle delivered a eulogy that I would say beautifully captured her spirit. And I think this is why I've been in a very reflective space. He spoke of her delicious cooking, her resilience, her strength, and yes, even her love of gambling. We all have our passions and the things that we love. But my grandmother, she was the backbone of our family. And she did leave behind a legacy of strength and unforgettable memories. And I'm grateful to her. But as I listened to my uncle's words and reflected on my grandmother's life, I couldn't help but think about the legacy that I want to leave behind. How will people remember me? What impact will I have made on those around me? Will people say that I was a good person, a kind person, a person who lived with purpose, a person who just wanted to live life? And life can be short, like my mother's, or long, like my grandmother's. But in either case, it is up to us to make the most of the time that we're given. And every day is an opportunity to build a legacy that one day we will leave behind. As a career coach, I've come across many tools and activities designed to help people reflect on their lives and their careers. And one of the most powerful exercises that I've encountered is something called Write Your Obituary activity. Now, I know that sounds a bit morbid, but bear with me. It's actually a very inspiring and motivational exercise. And this is how it works. So, you want to write your obituary. It takes about 10 minutes for you to start, writing things about how you want to be remembered. So this is a journaling exercise that I would encourage you to try. I actually did this right after my grandmother's passing. I was in that space, and so I thought it would be good to share this with all of you listening today. So I want you to write your obituary, write your legacy, and I want you to write down your achievements, your milestones. What are some of the significant accomplishments that you want to be remembered for? The values and principles that you live by, what core beliefs guided your actions and decisions, the impact you had on others and your community. How did you make a difference in the lives of those around you? Now, this could be things that maybe you haven't done yet. So, this is you living a very, very long life. What does that look like? What personal qualities defined who you are, who you were? What traits and characteristics made you who you are? So this activity is not just about focusing on death, it's about gaining clarity on life. It helps us think about what truly matters and how we want to be remembered. I believe it's a powerful reminder that every day is a chance to create the legacy that we want to leave behind. Reflecting on your life in this way can be very eye-opening. It can help you align your daily actions, the things that you're doing every day with your long-term goals and your values. When we take the time to consider how we want to be remembered, we start to live life intentionally. Or not just how we want to be remembered, but just to know the type of life that we want to leave behind, right? What is it that we want to accomplish? What is it that we want? And today is, the day to think about these things and moving forward. uh, w- we then start to prioritize whether, what is it that we want to do? Do we want to spend time with loved ones? Do we want to pursue our passions? Do we want to make a positive impact in our communities? Do we want to travel? What does that ideal life look like for us? What are the opportunities that we're missing out on because we're so busy worrying about things that are actually not important and that don't align with the things that we actually want, the things that align with, again, our purpose, our values, and just how we view life. Living with purpose doesn't mean, having to achieve something monumental and or, success the way society likes to, inflict it on us. But it can be found in the small everyday actions that reflect our values and who we actually want to be as a person. It's about being kind, like my mother was when she helped that lady, and many, many other examples, but that is the memory that comes to mind. It's about being resilient and strong, like my grandmother was throughout her entire life. So I challenge you to take some time today to reflect on your own life and purpose. What legacy do you want to leave behind? How do you want to be remembered? And most importantly, what can you do today to start living that legacy? As we wrap up today's episode, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection. I know it can be uncomfortable, but I feel like it's part of our journey and it's part of growth. And this is just a reminder that every day, every moment counts, whether our time here is short or long, but let's make it meaningful. So if there's something that you've been wanting to try, maybe a fear that you have that you want to overcome, a challenge that you want to overcome. Maybe you're ready to take the leap and start your business. Maybe you want to take a leap and make a career pivot or go back to school, start a family, buy a house, finally take that trip that has felt, unattainable. I think these are the moments that are really impactful and just make you reflect and think about what we want about life. All right. Well, as I kick off season 8 of my podcast, I hope that today's episode has inspired you to think about your own life and how you can live more intentionally. Remember, you have the power to create the life that you want and to leave a lasting impact on those around you. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to our next episode together. Until next time, this is Liz Herrera, your career coach and job search ally.